For letter H class, you can remember this one as separation of the forward element and the spot element. So just remember that forward contracts can result in an item of OCI. And when will forward contracts result in an item of OCI? When it involves separation of the forward element and spot element of the forward contract. So I'd like to emphasize that not all gains and losses from a forward contract class will be reported as an item of OCI. So it's not enough to remember forward contracts class. You have to remember separation of the forward element and the spot element. Now, the next two items would involve PFRS 17. This is the newest standard issued by the board class. The first one would not be difficult to remember class because the condition is that it is excluded from profit or loss. And it will now make sense that since it is being excluded from profit or loss, then it will have to be reported in your other comprehensive income. As to when insurance finance income and expense are excluded from profit or loss, it is better for you to deal with it once you discuss insurance contracts. The second item class involves reinsurance contracts. So, just to give you an idea class, reinsurance contract arise when an insurer class asks another insurer to insure him. So that sounds confusing. So for example, you apply for insurance class. So basically, the insurance company insures you. Whatever risk that is being insured will be shouldered by the insurance company. But it is a common practice class that the insurance company that insures you class would seek another insurance company to insure the risk that it has shouldered class. So when we talk about reinsurance contracts class, there are three parties now. First, the original assured or insured person. Second, an insurance company. Another insurance company which we will call a reinsurer. The second insurance company will be insuring another insurance company. So it's like your insurance company class is playing it safe. Your insurance company promises to shoulder your risk, but at the same time, it seeks the help of another insurance company to shoulder the risks that it has shouldered class. So basically, your keyword here class would be reinsurance contracts and disaggregation. So if there is the disaggregation of the insurance finance income or expense class and it involves a reinsurance contract, then the income or expense will be reported as part of your other comprehensive income. So quick recap, what are our items of other comprehensive income? Again, number one, revaluation surplus, but again, it should not be the original or the entire revaluation surplus. It should only be the change in the revaluation surplus. Number two, remeasurement gains or loss, which arise from employee benefits or pension plans. Next would be translation gains and losses when it involves a financial statements of a foreign operation. There will be a translation gain because the financial statements of the foreign operation are presented in a foreign currency and we have to translate or convert it into our presentation currency, which would normally be the Philippine peso. Now again, as a reminder, it should not be the cumulative translation adjustment that will be reported in your other comprehensive income. It should only be the current year's translation gain or loss, or simply the change in your translation adjustment. Next would be for financial assets. For financial assets that are measured at fair value through other comprehensive income. Next would be for liabilities class that are measured at fair value through profit or loss, but the changes in its fair value is not caused by market factors, but are instead caused by a change in the credit risk. Next would be two items from derivative instruments class. Number one, the effective portion on a cash flow hedge. Number two would be the change in the value of the time value of options. Another derivative still would be forward contracts, but again, not all forward contracts will result in an item of OCI. Only those that involve the segregation of the forward element and the spot element when only the spot element is designated as the hedging instrument. The last two would be from insurance contracts. The first one would be very obvious because the insurance finance income or expense is being excluded from profit or loss. The second item from PFRS 17 would be, the second one would involve the disaggregation of the finance income and expense from reinsurance contracts. So please make sure to remember this by heart, class. A lot of questions can be asked from this one, which is not an item of OCI, which is an item of OCI. Now, last important part of the definition of terms, class, would be your reclassification adjustments. So, reclassification adjustments are amounts reclassified to profit or loss in the current period that were recognized in other comprehensive income. As what we have established before, class, your comprehensive income is composed of your profit or loss and your other comprehensive income. Emphasize that there should be a clear line between items of profit or loss and items of other comprehensive income. But it's possible, class, as will be discussed later on, that an item of OCI, class, will later on be transferred as part of your profit or loss. This is very common, class, when there is already a final disposal of an asset or a liability that results in an item of OCI. But one thing that I want you to remember about reclassification adjustment, class, is that not all items of OCI will undergo reclassification adjustment. Does that mean that it will forever remain in your other comprehensive income? The answer is no. Then why do we say that some items of OCI will not undergo reclassification adjustment? Because if you look at the definition of your reclassification adjustment, class, it tells you that the transfer is from OCI to profit or loss. It's possible, class, that your item of OCI will not remain in your OCI but will not go through profit or loss, but will instead immediately go to your retained earnings. So again, what can undergo reclassification adjustment? Only items of OCI can undergo reclassification adjustment. Will all items of OCI undergo reclassification adjustment? The answer is no, because reclassification adjustment pertains only to those items of OCI that will be made part in the current year's profit or loss. Does it mean that there are items of OCI that will forever remain in OCI? The answer is no. So how then will they be removed from OCI if they will not be transferred to your profit or loss? Items of OCI, class, that do not go through reclassification adjustment are removed from OCI by directly transferring them to your retained earnings. Then you would then say, wouldn't profit or loss ultimately be close to retained earnings? That is correct. The important distinction, class, is that if it undergoes reclassification adjustment, it will be considered as part of your operating income. But if it is directly transferred to your retained earnings, the ending balance of your retained earnings would still be the same, but the amount transferred directly to retained earnings will no longer be considered part of your operating income. Now, the difference may not make a ton of sense, class, but definitely there is a difference. So at this point, what do you have to remember? Remember what reclassification adjustment means. What does it mean? It is the transfer of an item of OCI to your profit or loss. So what will undergo reclassification adjustment? Only items of OCI. Do all items of OCI undergo reclassification adjustment? No, because there are some items of OCI that do not pass through profit or loss anymore, but are instead directly transferred to your retained earnings. So from the definition of terms alone, class, the discussion has been very long. We'll proceed to the financial statements themselves on the next video.